Everyone. Let me start the session. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all in today's inaugural panel discussion of the online certificate course on Areca nut use in India, myths, realities, and health risks, which is organized by CHIP Foundation in association with Eco India. This is truly heartening to see such a committed gathering of professionals, educators, students, and public health advocates coming together to address a topic that often goes unnoticed but has profound implications on public health in India. Areca nut, commonly known as supari or betel nut, is deeply rooted in cultural tradition and social customs across various parts of our country. However, we often remain unacknowledged is its classification as a Group 1 carcinogen by the World Health Organization and its strong association with severe health consequences, including oral cancer and other chronic conditions. This course seeks to unpack these deeply ingrained myths and shed light on the scientific realities surrounding areca nut consumption. Over the course of our discussion, we will explore the historical, cultural, and economic aspects of areca nut use, its health implications, and policy regulatory frameworks that governed it. Most importantly, we will consider how community level interventions and awareness campaigns can be leveraged to reduce its harmful impact. By the end of this course, we hope you will gain a comprehensive understanding of the challenges associated with areca nut use and be empowered to take informed action, whether as a healthcare professional, educator, policymakers, or concerned citizens. Thank you for being with us today. I look forward to an engaging, thought-provoking, and solution-oriented session with all of you. Let's begin our important journey together. I would now request my colleague, Dr. Shekhar Rover, to please take this session forward.
Thank you, Anshika. And we have with us Professor Ravi Mehrotra, sir. Sir is the founder of CHIP Foundation. Sir is the founder of CHIP Foundation, and I request him to give a brief view about the CHIP Foundation and its activities. I request Professor Ravi Mehrotra, sir.
Just one moment. Yes, thank you so much for basically being the backbone, both Eco India colleagues, and I know Sanchika is here, my esteemed co-panelist, Dr. Prakash Gupta, as well as Professor Goel. First of all, I would like to welcome you to this, I think, as we mentioned, the relatively neglected area of areca nut. Just before we began, Sonu was telling me that now finally, after a lot of efforts from many experts, the WHO, and hopefully the FCTC part of the WHO will be including areca nut in its agenda. So hopefully there'll be movement more than has been over the last many years in this area. I've been asked to talk about the CHIP Foundation, which stands for the Center for Health, Innovation and Policy. This is a not-for-profit organization based out of the NCR. We've been around for last about 5 years now, and our basic goal is to be looking at NCDs, and in particular cancer, which is our focus area. But of course, we are things like areca nut, for example, are cross-cutting. It doesn't cause only cancer, but a variety of diseases in many parts of the body. So that is where we are hoping to focus our attention. So the CHIP Foundation has been working in the area of cancer prevention, and of course, the most preventable cause of cancer being tobacco, and tobacco is quite often used either with areca nut or with a variety of other substances in gutka and various other smokeless tobacco. We'll be touching upon that as we go along. So many of our colleagues from the foundation are here, and I'm thankful to all of them for organizing this. And I hope that with time and there'll be interest from a lot of youngsters, not only in the area of cancer prevention overall, but specifically in areas like smokeless tobacco and Areca, which are predominantly South Asian problems. Most of it is grown and consumed in this part of the world. Of course, other countries, including Malaysia and Taiwan and so on, also have the problem. So on behalf of the CHIP Foundation, I welcome all of you and I look forward to the proceedings. And I, of course, thank all of you for attending. Back to you, Shekhar.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. For the participants, I would like to give a very brief, I would like to introduce my panelists and would like to say something about them as well. So we have our first panelist, Dr. Prakash C. Gupta, sir. Sir is a pioneering figure in the tobacco control and public health in India. Sir is the founder and director of Helis Sexaria Institute for Public Health, and his work has been instrumental in shaping evidence-based tobacco control policies in India. And he has conducted extensive research on smokeless tobacco and Areca nut use as well. His perspective today will be invaluable in helping us understand the scale and severity of this issue. We welcome you, sir. Also, we have our own Professor Dr. Ravi Mehrotra, sir, founder of CHIP Foundation, and he has been the tireless advocate for cancer prevention and public health. Sir has led numerous initiatives that focus on behavioral risk factors like tobacco consumption and their links to oral and other cancers. His experience in capacity building and health communication will also provide crucial context on how we can improve awareness and prevention strategies at the grassroots level in Areca nut consumption. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Joining us also is Professor Dr. Sonu Goyal, sir. Sir is a professor at PGI Chandigarh and a highly respected public health expert with deep expertise in epidemiology and health systems. Sir has been actively involved in tobacco control research and policy evaluation. His insights will help us examine how regulation, enforcement, and health education can be leveraged to address the widespread use of Areca nut across various demographics. We welcome you, sir. Dr. Sonu Goyal, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Shekhar.
Yes, sir. So let's kickstart today's session with our very first question. I request Dr. Prakash C. Gupta, sir, to please come forward. And sir, my question for you is, sir, as you are one of the leading experts in tobacco and public health research in India, sir, I would request you to please begin this session by helping us understand what is the overall burden of Areca nut use in the country. And as per the existing data, sir, can you tell us something about what is the prevalence, who is consuming it, what are the demographic groups involved, and anything else regarding the burden you would like to say, sir?
Thank you very much, Shekhar, and thanks to Ravi for organizing this very important and, as he himself said, neglected area. And of course, nothing else could be expected from Ravi, who himself has been ENT all the problems, health problems that are associated directly with Areca nut. So congratulations and welcome to this important session. Yes, as already said, Areca nut is something that is completely ingrained in our social, culture, religion, life in India, and not from today, or not from 100, 200 years. It's for at least 2000 years. We have evidence for that. And it is so much ingrained that it the word like beetle word translation of beetle like bida, and for areca nut like supari and guava, they are used in many different senses. In fact, everybody by now knows the sinister meaning associated with supari also. So there are many different things that are associated with this. In fact, just yesterday, somebody from somebody sent me a small video made by somebody from Lucknow. I know, very eloquently documenting the entire culture, what they call tehjeeb and etiquette uh, associated with betel quid, in Lucknow and Awadh, and how it should be used and what are the words and all that. So, it is very something very completely ingrained. And that's why there has been almost no attention to it there was no attention to it for a very, very long time. In fact, I got little suspicious only after our very extensive surveys on oral pre-cancer in India in late 60s and 70s, several 100,000 persons we had examined. And looking at the data, I suspected that it is areca nut which is causing submucous fibrosis, which was a rare disease at that particular time. And as the time went along, we confirmed that. We conducted special case controlled studies and showed that it is areca nut that is really responsible for submucous fibrosis. It was not easy to convince everybody else, but by now, I think everybody is confirmed. All experts are completely convinced that areca nut causes submucous fibrosis. We also showed submucous fibrosis is a OPMD, oral potentially malignant disorder, is it is now said, with a very, very high risk. In our cohort studies, we also calculated and published the relative risk of oral submucous fibrosis becoming malignant, controlling for tobacco use, because tobacco use is always there. So, after all that data, we are quite convinced about the problem of areca nut. But our getting convinced really doesn't solve the problem. The problem solution has to come from policies and policymakers. So, what is the extent of the problem? I think that is very important. That's why this also. So, I thought I'll just show a few calculations and slides that I have done over this. So, these are the forms of tobacco use. I think that everybody knows. I don't have to say anything on that. Smokeless tobacco use is high, and the issue is it is linked with areca nut, and therefore whenever there was any research, any surveillance, it was always tobacco, smokeless tobacco. Areca nut was not discussed separately, only as a part of smokeless tobacco problem. But let us focus specifically on areca nut use. So now I looked at the Gates zone data also. There was no separate areca nut question on that, but you can, by looking at the products used, one could make out that these are the products without tobacco with areca nut, and of course other products are with tobacco. So I just looked at the the addictive properties, and I found that there is almost no difference in two major parameters: use of the product after waking up within 5, 6 to 30, more than 60 minutes, and you look at the distribution. They are nearly identical. In the same way, age of initiation of product, identical for areca nut with tobacco and areca nut without tobacco. So this sort of dispels one myth that areca nut is not really addictive. Now, Gates 2, when it was conducted Global Adult Tobacco Second Survey, that included a module with a question on areca, three most common categories of areca nut products. Now, this module was administered to all individuals. And this is a big difference, because in earlier surveys and most other surveillance studies and research studies, you first ask whether you are using tobacco, and then afterwards comes areca nut. So if those who are using only areca nut automatically gets excluded quite often. So, but in Gates 2, the module on areca nut was administered to all individuals. And then the Gates 2 report showed that the prevalence of betel quid without tobacco was 8.7%, areca nut 8%, and pan masala without tobacco 4.8%. These are national prevalences. These prevalence, however, cannot be aided as they are not mutually exclusive. Many of them could have reported use of other smokeless tobacco product and smoking product. So unit level Gates 2 data, as you all know, are available. So I did a in-depth analysis of that product. and calculated Areca nut use among tobacco users and non-users. And these were the categories that were there in the gates too, three categories. And among tobacco users, these are the percentages ranging from 6.8% to 10%. But interestingly, even among non-users, it ranges from about 4% to 8%. With the result that among tobacco users, the prevalence of areca nut use is almost like 20%. But even among non-users, the prevalence is like more than 15%. And this is something eye-opening kind of a thing. And looking at the distribution, this is the age distribution of tobacco users and areca nut users without tobacco. And you see that tobacco users are standard. The prevalence keeps on increasing with the age. But areca nut use is very different. It decreases with the age. And this demonstrates, what does it demonstrate? That the increase in areca nut use may be a more recent phenomena, more common among younger persons. We don't have consumption data, but the production trends are quite supportive. The production has increased quite substantially over few decades. So the total problem in the population, 11% use areca nut products without using any tobacco. Prevalence of smokeless tobacco plus areca nut use is 21.4% plus 11%, 32.5%. Total estimated number of ST users, 19 point, almost 20 crores. But if you add areca nut, another 10 crores. So total is 30 crores. And if you add smokers, almost 10 crores, the number of tobacco plus areca nut users in 40.16 crores. And that is the population that is exposed to carcinogen, oral, especially in oral cavity. 40 crore persons in India are directly exposed to a carcinogen. So the problem, in fact, we know that problem of tobacco is very big in India, but if we add areca nut problem, the problem is far bigger than what we thought. So I think this is what I would I'd like to say about the magnitude of the problem on areca nut. I won't go into health effects. I think there are many other experts who will really talk on health effects from their personal experience also. Thank you very much, all.
Thank you, sir.
Shekhar, back to you.
Thank you, sir. This is indeed enlightening, and since you have given the eye-opening numbers for this magnitude of this problem, and this is indeed something which has been greatly overlooked by policymakers and health researchers. And I suggest all the participants present here to take this as a lesson to pursue more research into this area. I remember that you had this first paper on areca nut by Prakash C. Gupta sir has published his first paper on areca nut back in 2002, and it is still being commonly cited whenever an areca nut paper publishes. So this is something that everyone here should take as a lesson and pursue more research in this. Thank you, sir. Well, my next question is to our own Professor Dr. Ravi Mehrotra, sir. Sir, I would like you to please elaborate on the health effects which are associated with areca nut use, and particularly in the form of commercial preparations like pan masala and gutka. So how do these health effects they contribute to the growing burden of cancers, and what are the mechanisms of the harm which are involved? If you can please elaborate on that, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. As Dr. Gupta has very nicely said the extent of the problem. Now, of course, many of us who are working in the area of oral diseases, epidemiology, and cancer overall, the most important thing which strikes, of course, and that is the most catastrophic. Let me start with that, and then I'll talk about some of the not so problematic areas or less problematic areas, put that way. Everything is problematic. So as Dr. Gupta talked about oral submucous fibrosis, there were many, many theories, whether it is due to some multivitamin or iron deficiency, is it due to some other toxin which is present in India, and it is genetic, all sorts of theories were there. And then eventually, due to Dr. Gupta and many other colleagues who are pioneers in this area, they could focus down to Supari, areca nut. So oral submucous fibrosis is the precursor. And I, in my previous avatar as a clinician and as a professor, uh, working with my colleagues from various departments, whether dental or ENT or whatever, we used to see huge number of cases of oral submucous fibrosis, which is a debilitating and practically incurable. You can alleviate it to a certain extent, provided it caught early, but characterized by a progressive stiffening of the oral mucosa, which restricts mouth opening. And as in severe cases, you can mouth opens not even a centimeter. So instead of eating food, you drink food with the help of a straw. Of course, it takes many years to come by, but we have had a chance to see oral submucous fibrosis in relatively young people because they have been consuming this for a very, very long time. They start practically even in their pre-teens. So a small percentage, there is some amount of discrepancy between 2 to 5% of these patients will go on to develop malignancy. And many of these malignancy are discovered very late and can be practically fatal. And those malignancies, of course, are all squamous cell carcinoma. And that is why the IARC has clearly said it is a type 1 carcinogen. And this fact is not known very clearly even to many physicians in India, let alone the common people or the users. Approximately half of the oral cancer in the Indian subcontinent are attributed to Areca nut chewing, with or without tobacco, as has been mentioned earlier. When we talk about other cancers, they include esophagus, pharynx, larynx, that is the upper GI tract, including the stomach, the liver, prostate, and even the lung. But that is not so common. The usual are the upper GI tract. When you talk about extra cancer, that is other diseases, I talked about the cardiovascular. For example, Areca nut can cause increased heart rate. I remember once being in Shillong in Meghalaya, and they eat raw betel nut there. And I had a very, very small piece just to see how it goes. And my heart rate went booming and I turned red in the face because it caused elevated blood pressure and also increased risk of heart attack and stroke. And also, it is other diseases like metabolic disorders like diabetes and obesity are also attributed to Areca nut. Coming down further from the upper GI, you talk about the stomach itself and the lower GI. That is associated with acid reflux, ulcers, constipation, as well as general gastrointestinal discomfort. Because it has an alkaloid, like many alkaloids, especially arecoline, it acts as a stimulant and can lead to addiction and dependence, similar to nicotine. Obviously, not that dependent, but definitely it is there. And withdrawal symptoms can include mood swings, anxiety, irritability, and so on. And I know we have many dentists among our audience, so obviously it can give rise to a permanent staining of teeth and gums, gum irritation, teeth decay, as well as abrasion. And finally, it also can affect reproductive tract. So consumption during pregnancy can increase the risk of adverse outcomes, especially talking about birth rate, low birth weight infants, premature birth, and stillbirth as well. And because of this OSMF and various other things, when people start off at a very young age, it is a significant health crisis. And of course, it kind of work together with tobacco and other stuff, the terrible stuff which we use inside the mouth to have a multiplicative effect for causing oral cancers. If you want me to talk about very briefly, talking about how it happens, the tobacco-specific nitrosamine, TSTNAs, arecanal alkaloids, which are genotoxic as well and can contribute directly to carcinogenesis. Then quite often it is had with slaked lime, which causes opening in the oral cavity. The pores are increased, formation of highly damaging reactive oxygen species. Then you have catechu, which can cause hepatic irritation, heavy metals, and of course, various flavoring agents, which we all know about. So I can talk for the next 1 hour. I will not try to bore you people, just to give you a bird's eye view of what all things it can come across. It is another area which health effects we don't talk about very often, but unfortunately seen in most parts of India, which this is consumed, which is because of the areca nut, people do spit out. And that this spitting can, people who have infection, that was very clearly seen during the last COVID pandemic, can also, it was banned at that. The only time we actually had a ban on spitting. I don't know how effective it was, but unfortunately that did not continue. So there is a problem that not only staining of the walls, not only spreading in sort of sanitation problem, but also can spread infections, including tuberculosis. So this is, I'm sorry, I'm probably showing you a very negative picture, but unfortunately, there's nothing positive about Areca nut at all. I know it is time bound. It has been used in various social and religious occasions, as including weddings, which are happy and joyous. But now, when people are having it by the kilograms rather than a few grams, the story is completely different. I hope I was able to give you a brief about it. Maybe we can have another special session in one of your sessions. I can talk about the problems galore later on. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Indeed, rightly said. It's nitrosamines and alkaloids are purely, promoting the non-communicable disease component, and the spitting habit is promoting the communicable disease component. So it is harmful in both the ways, and we should not ignore this fact. Thank you, sir. Now, my next question is to our third panelist, Professor Dr. Sonu Goyal, sir. Sir, I would like to ask, say that certain states in India have actually tried implementing some bans and restrictions on commercial preparations like gutka and pan masala, but it is still available. It is available and it is widespread prevalent. How have this state level initiatives influenced the policies, and how has it it has painted the bigger picture?
Thank you very much, Shekhar, for this question. I'll just carry forward my answer to Dr. Prakash Gupta's sir and Dr. Ravi Malhotra sir's statements about the harmfulness and addictiveness of these two type of products. And I was really the slide which was shown by Dr. Gupta on the age pattern. I think it was shocking because normally the addictions normally takes place in the age group less than 20 years, 21 years, and almost similar number of people are consuming gutka as comparison to the other type of product. So I think this is really shocking. But I just want to highlight one more thing before I was, as Dr. Ravi Malhotra has said, that I was in the process of preparing a background document for WHO on SLT and Areca nut for Southeast Asia countries. So I was reading a lot about it. And I obviously I got a lot of papers of Dr. Prakash Gupta and Dr. Ravi Malhotra as well, sir, on SLT and Areca nut. So there was very interesting thing which I found in the culture. It is one of the oldest product which is being used. This Areca nut, and this thing. So I found the evidence even before 2000 BC. So 2000 BC, there was a long evidence, and they dug the graves in Philippines. And in the graves, they found the teeth were stained with these type of products. When they did some analysis of the teeth of those people who were buried 2000 years back, 2000 BC, so their teeth were stained. So that means that type of thing exists long back. And you might have heard about the kings, early kings of India and Sri Lanka. So those kings, so there was a customary that somebody used to take a box along with the king. Wherever the king goes, a box is there in which all these areca nut and pan with areca nut is there. So it was considered as one of the most uh, like wanted product by some high profile people. And one more interesting thing which I found, because these are some of the things which I wanted to highlight before I come to this particular question. In Vietnam, so that was again interesting for me that in Vietnam, whenever the bride and bridegrooms, there was a talk in between bride and bridegroom. This is the essential, this is the essential thing which is being served to the bridegroom when the talk is finalized. When they say that now my girl will go to your place, so the first thing they offer is this betel nuts. So this is considered as one of the religious thing for them, that makes the marriage stronger. So this is the first thing which is being offered in Vietnam. So I think it was very interesting for me to see all those things. Now, just to give an audience an idea about the pan masala and gutka, because I think there are many people who might be knowing about the difference between these two, but just to give a brief difference between these two things, like gutka is basically a banned product, because it is coming from a question that how the states have banned and what is the status right now. So gutka contains tobacco, areca nut, and other flavoring agents. So this is the consideration of gutka. And now, since the gutka was banned in few states, initially in Madhya Pradesh, then Maharashtra, and then many more, because of Food and Safety Act, FSSAI. So it says that the tobacco cannot be present in any food product, right? So what they did is they circumvented that ban. How they circumvented? That they have a twin pouch. The tobacco is being sold differently, and the pan masala. Pan masala is like entire thing which is present in gutka, like areca nuts, slake lime, flavoring agents, sweeteners, all those things are being sold differently. So they're saying that flavoring agent, it pan masala is just mouth freshener. It is just a mouth freshener. It doesn't contain tobacco now. But still, many papers have been published, including one by Dr. Gupta as well, that even the pan masala in many states contain tobacco. But that's a separate thing. But this is how the ban have been circumvented, by selling these two things: a tobacco pouch, twin pouch, which is very small pouch, which is there, specifically asked by the people. And then the second pouch is pan masala, right? Which they openly advertise, right? So now about the in our country, India, normally when the ban occurs, especially in the tobacco, this thing, the movement start at the subnational level. Very few things have started at the national level. Most of the things started at the subnational level. One advocacy occurs at particular state, the health secretary is convinced, and then it happens in the electronic cigarette ban as well, vaping ban. Punjab was the first state which did so, and then it was in 2013, and then in 2019 the government of India came up with a complete ban. Similar thing happened in the gutka case. So it was way back in 2011, if I'm not wrong, when Madhya Pradesh was the first state which actually banned gutka on the premise. Uh, Sir, please correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was Madhya Pradesh was the first state,
Maharashtra, I think.
or
Yeah, I
Maharashtra.
think Maharashtra was the one, correct.
Maharashtra.
Maharashtra. Sir, you are mute, sir.
So no, that was a successful ban. Before that, Maharashtra has banned, but that was based on old FSSI rule,
Right, sir. Right.
and it was not sustained in the courts of law. So Maharashtra had banned twice before that. Several other states have also banned, but those bans were not sustainable. But MP ban, it was based on the new
FSSA.
revised FSI, and that was sustainable. And after that, when states started banning in similar way, they have all been sustained, not rejected by court of.
Right, right. Thank you, sir, for clarification. Thank you. So again, I think this is how the things have started, and now almost all the states have actually banned gutka because of and the only problem with this type of ban, which is being done by FSSAI, there are two things. One, circumvention of the ban. You can still find the tobacco pouches separately and pan masala separately. So this is one thing which is being there. The second thing is the ban exists only for 1 year, because FSSAI can only ban any type of thing, and notification can only be there for 1 year. So these are the two things which is still we are struggling with it, and now people are saying that in the new revised COTPA, so this type of thing should be there, so that it should be banned under COTPA or any other law, which the new notification should not come every time, right? So this is how the story goes with the subnational ban. In almost every state now we do not have, but specifically Areca nut, we do not have ban, because Areca nut is present everywhere. And why it should be banned? The case should be there, as everyone has said, that it contains ericoline. This is one major ingredient, although there are other ingredients as well. And ericoline is a this Schedule 4 poison. It's a Schedule 4 poison under the Poisons Act. So one cannot sell poisons directly in the market. So this is one of the premise under which people are saying, or the advocates are saying, that we should ban the Areca nut as well. Right? So, yeah, Shekhar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Indeed, there's a lot to talk about the policies and how the bans have been implemented and how have they influenced the consumption of areca nut. We are yet to go further for a lot more discussion, even after completing this panel discussion. Now, I would like to take forward the initial remarks by Dr. Sonu Goyal, sir, since he has talked about the history and the religious prevalence of recurrent consumption. I would like to take this forward question to Professor Prakash Gupta, sir. Sir, my question to you regarding this is that, since areca nut has such deep cultural roots in all the parts of India, used in rituals, ceremonies, and many other ways. So, how challenging it will be to counter such practices when we know that there are harmful health effects of areca nut use, and then also it becomes a sensitive issue because it has a cultural relevance. So, what strategies we can use and be effective in this situation, sir?
It's a very interesting question. I just give an example of a successful kind of intervention that happened in Sri Lanka. Because in Sri Lanka also betel quid and areca nut was a part of culture. And so much so that when Sri Lanka, as you know, is a Buddhist country, very religious Buddhist country. And whenever you visit a Buddhist monk, one of the offerings you have to do is areca nut. On betel leaf, areca nut, the whole plate should be offered. And that was standard practice. Now, with this kind of standard practice, you couldn't campaign against areca nut. You are offering that to monks and almost ritual, completely accepted ritual in the society. But there's some many friends, they started a campaign, and what they did was they directly met highest monks in the country and explained them the problem, and then they agreed, and then they stopped accepting the gift of areca nut from all the devotees. And I think now it is standard, and areca nut is not given a gift. And that has really resulted in that reduction in the social acceptance of the areca nut habit. So in the same way, not just with the common people, but starting with the thought leaders and social leaders, explaining them that this is not the practice, like we have many other, social practices on which campaigns have taken place and laws have been made. In the same way, this is also a practice that is not desirable, either as a part of religion, either as a part of culture. In the religion, even if it is there, religion is not asking you to eat areca nut. I mean, it is there. It is many rituals, it is kept. But it is not that one should eat areca nut. That is something separate. And that is really, it is happening. All the problems are public health because of industrialization. So I think what we need to do in a two-pronged kind of approach, of course, awareness, involvement of social influencer, social religious leaders, and tackling the industry, reducing the encouragement to the industry for producing areca nut. Right now, industries are encouraged in all ways, like all other industries, to produce areca nut products, and that needs to be curtailed. That needs to be stopped. Thank you, Shekhar, for your question.
Thank you, sir. Indeed, the social acceptance needs to be, tuned down a bit by the people who are taken up as role models for this, so that can effectively create a change. Thank you, sir, for this answer. I would now like to move to our second panelist, Professor Dr. Ravi Mehrotra, sir. Sir, I believe you have something to share in the form of a PPT slide.
Yeah, I'll
Sir,
just talk about what is the present situation as far as production and possible control is concerned. I think that would be appropriate. Can I share my screen, please?
yes, sir. Yes, sir, please.
I'm finding the button here. Where is it gone?
Sanchika, can you please make Professor Ravi Mehrotra, sir, the co-host?
She's doing. She's doing.
Okay. So please go ahead.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Right. So I just wanted to briefly talk about what is the present situation as far. Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Are
sir.
you able to see my screen? Okay. So
Yes, sir.
what has happened in this last year? When I was preparing for another talk, I was a bit surprised to see this, that in the last year or two, the production has actually gone down by 50%, the national Areca nut harvest compared to the previous year. And there are mainly three reasons for that. Number one, unfortunately, they are not man-made and they are not due to control, but there has been three different
I'm sorry, sir, to
uh,
pause you in
did
between, sir. Sir, the slideshow
there.
is not visible, sir. Slideshow.
Okay, let me see.
You can
Uh,
slide, but not
Share again.
slideshow mode. You please share it again, sir.
Okay, desktop. Can you see now?
No, sir.
Can you see my screen?
I can see, yes. Yes,
Okay,
now I can see the recurrent production trend.
okay. Right. So basically 50% reduction last year, spot and fruit rot diseases. And the market growth is actually about 6.8% per year. And the price has actually gone up by about 30% to about 9,500 rupees per quintal, which is fairly high. The major India agricultural landscape, the major states are Karnataka, Kerala, and Assam, and all have had a serious problem with crop failures. So despite this, they are actually importing now from various other countries. Now, this crop failure could be due to extreme weather conditions, unseasonal rainfall, as well as prolonged periods of, it could be climate change. But the demand still remains strong, and primarily Indonesia is one country where they have been importing, and also from Malaysia. When we talk about regulation and alternative uses, the dual nature of areca nut use, it is a health hazard as well as a resource. There is a ministry in our government which actually promotes the areca nut production. So while regulations continue to target its combination with tobacco and consumer products, there's a growing interest in promoting it as a non-consumable applications. For example, people are talking about biodegradable tableware and packaging. Several states have initiated a skill development program, especially Kerala. They have something called a Green Plate Initiative, in which subsidized machinery is being provided for small-scale leaf plate alternate revenue streams, which can gradually reduce the dependence of areca nut for consumption. That means, in brief, you can keep making it, keep producing it, but don't produce it for consumption. You can use a leaf for various other areas. So these, especially Kerala, has been at the forefront. I hope other states also can follow suit. Then when you talk about what are the various ways of control, won't go all through all of these points. Obviously, just like tobacco, strengthening tobacco taxation and pricing is, of course, important. Enforcement, we have some of the best laws, and now with the new FOTPA regulation coming out, hopefully that will improve. But implementation still remains very weak. If it improves, we can have a 30% improvement in compliance and packaging and sales regulation within the first year of implementation. Similarly, just like New Zealand has started, but unfortunately failed, but England at the moment, the UK is, I think, quite serious about it, coming up with a tobacco-free and similarly a Areca-free generation may be a worthwhile idea to go. We should be following. So these are some of the ideas I thought if we can, just like smokeless tobacco, I've always said this many, many times, if we can actually make a law that not less than 250 grams or 500 grams are being sold, automatically the price will go up and automatically consumption will come down. Similarly, Areca nut, unfortunately, is usually sold in a retail market. It's called the chutta bikam hota hai. So you can just go and pick up. Anybody can go and pick up. So I don't know how we can get about packaging for that. But as far as the finished product is concerned, I think that is the basic. So it remains very affordable. Anybody can afford 2 to 5 rupees or whatever it costs. It is ridiculously cheap. So that is one of the biggest problems. And as per the WHO, I think I don't need to repeat, one of the best methods of control is increasing taxation. So this is, of course, awareness is important, but I think that this idea that I found was quite interesting, that if the farmer can make more money out of making non-consumable uses of Areca, if it actually really works, maybe a suggestion which could be worth investigating, researching, as well as propagating if it works. So I thought I was very keen to see this, and I wanted to bring it to the attention of this audience today. Thank you so much. Back to you, Shekhar.
Thank you, sir. Well, the production is coming down, but the prices are again going up, and it is it is it is nice to see that some countries are taking up this initiative, and it could be replicated for India as well. Thank you, sir, for this factful speech. And I have another question now directed to Professor Dr. Sonu Goyal, sir. Sir, as just Maruta sir has just asked that, it's a cheap product. They are fancy marketing. It's readily available. So I would like to ask you, sir, that since all these Areca products are so aggressively marketed and they are targeting the youth, they are doing the celebrity endorsements, social media. We all see Vimal ads everywhere in the IPL. We also all these remains unchecked. Nobody's really asking the question. So how can we better regulate these tactics? Especially when it comes to the digital space.
Yeah, thank you, Shekhar. And I think it is a difficult question because we all know that these all are surrogate advertisements which are being there in IPL, in cricket matches, in football matches, and they are being shown um, uh, there, which should not be the case. But yeah, I think at this point of time, two or three things can be done. The first thing is we need to make some examples. We need to make some example and advertise that practice in the newspaper. For example, what we did, I just give you an example of one thing which happened in Punjab. When we were working with the Punjab government way back in 2000, I think it was in 2014, when Punjab in 2013 has banned electronic cigarettes. And but there was the regulation was not very well complied with, and many shopkeepers were selling e-cigarette. So we sent a decoy customer to one or two shops, and that decoy customer was a kid, and that guy in the shop gave that electronic cigarette to that kid, right? And we caught hold of that person, And under a JJ Act, Juvenile Justice Act, so we that person, there was a case against that person, and that person was imprisoned for 7 years, rigorous imprisonment for 7 years, and that case was widely publicized in the newspapers. So people were very threatened just by selling, even if the tobacco industry will come and give them, because what they do, okay, this is the fine, we will give you that money returned back, right? This is what but nobody can favor that jail. Even the tobacco company cannot come and free that person from the jail, right? So there was a terror at that point of time, right? Similar thing happened with social media. There was a notice which was issued by chief secretary to the social media like Amazon and all those people who are actually doing that publicity of or even the if you are if you want to buy electronic cigarette in Punjab, so many companies are sending that. So again, they issued, in case we find anything, if you sell anything on an address which is there in Punjab, we will take a very strong action against you. So this was just a notice which was issued by that. And after that, I could not find any person selling electronic cigarette in Punjab till till that secretary was there, right, for 2 3 years. After that, now it is happening. But this is the power of those type of things which we can do. And now, in the case of Areca nut, now electronic cigarette was banned, and there was so similar thing can happen with these type of advertisement. If there is a show cause notice, or if NGO can send a courtesy notice about this is not allowed. In case you do this, we will file a PIL on you, right? Or the government can come over in the stadium, and then they can stop. And then again, that can become a media, the news, right? If these sort of examples can be there, only then I believe that these type of ads will stop coming. The third thing which people have tried doing is approaching those people who are advertising, those heroes, right? So approaching those heroes by their email, by their Twitter account, by their all the things. But that has met with very little success. Although we have found that one person has agreed that it was not me, but then the ads were coming regularly of that person taking the gutka. So I think these are some of the things which can be done by a NGO or civil society, and also by the government, to stop those surrogacy advertisement in the social media as well as in general advertisements on billboards. Right.
Thank you, sir. Well, indeed, it is the power of the bureaucrats that can actually make the things change. So we need to shift, focus their shift towards such overlooked practices as well. Thank you, sir. Questions from my end are now over, and I open the house for general Q&A session. And there were already a few questions which were there mentioned in the chat box. I'll read it out to the panelists. Now, Dr. Siddhi has asked, if alcohol can be banned by states, why can't tobacco and Areca nut be banned under strict implementation? And this question is open to all the panelists, if anyone is willing to answer. So, Dr.
Let me start on this. And the alcohol ban in states like Gujarat and I think Bihar, as you probably know very well, they are more, although they are officially there, but they are very often bypassed, and alcohol is available in most places. As a matter of fact, illegal or hooch is actually sold quite often. So bans really do not work most of the places. And I don't think banning Areca nut is ever going to work, especially given the long history. I wish I could say, yes, of course it will work, but the practical implementation is not very feasible to the best of my knowledge. The second issue, which again, I will not go into details, is in the Areca growing areas, many of the owners and big farmers are politicians who hold important positions in their state as well as in the central government. So the chances of it actually being passed by any government is rather bleak. I'm sure there are other reasons also. Livelihood comes in the picture. As a matter of fact, I have put in the chat box in case you can see the Areca plates. I could actually go to and there were machinery available to make these plates. And also they are being sold for about 50 rupees or 100 rupees for a set of plates and spoons and glasses and everything else. However, having said that, that seemed like a great idea, but there is nothing to stop the farmers from selling the nuts as well as using the leaves. The dual use can also be there. It would actually become more um, profitable for them. I will defer to my fellow panelists, Dr. Goel and Dr. Gupta, if they have anything to add to that.
Yeah, I just one thing to add. I think Ravi has responded very well. But one more point, even before when we think of banning something, promotion is completely opposite of banning. So if you are thinking of banning, you have to stop the promotion first. Without that, no ban can succeed. And right now, there is a clear government of India policy for promoting areca nut cultivation, areca nut use. There are areca nut research institutes. There are societies for areca nut promotion, which are officially recognized. So, first we have to stop the promotion, and then only we can think in terms of restrictions and bans and any regulations. So I think that is my additional point in addition to whatever Ravi has very clearly said.
Yeah, I think in addition to one point which is striking my mind is we just need to see how that Gujarat and this ban has occurred. Actually, uh, if they see that there is a voters database, if there is if the voters in that constituency want a ban, only then normally the ban occurs. So community voice is really very important. So what happened in Bihar, so those ladies and those women group in different constituencies, they came together and they raised a protest, continuous protest for raising that ban. So now we need to find a reason why the community should come or will come to support a ban for Areca nut. So I think the voice, if coming from downwards, will make a lot of difference when it comes to ban in a particular state or a district. So I think this is another thing which need to be taken into consideration.
Thank you, dear panelists, for answering this question beautifully. We have another comment by Dr. Aruna in the chat box. Promotion of Areca tea claiming medical benefits, and in this indeed was one of my question as well. Well, there has been some instances where Areca nut has been promoted to have medicinal properties or digestive properties or GI improving properties. So what can be done in this regard? This is an open question to all the panelists.
So I have just one point. Yes.
As we said, Areca nut is something very ancient. And there are treatises that show, or that tell at least, that Areca nut has beneficial properties, deworming and for digestion and all that. But please remember that there are books, early 17th century books, that promote the use of tobacco and written by doctors at that time, that demonstrate, that say that tobacco is useful, it cures so many diseases and all that. So the misconceptions are there, misconceptions have been there, and with the advent of knowledge we have to counter those misconceptions. And benefits of areca nut are nothing but they are misconceptions.
So just to add upon to Dr. Gupta's one, so if somebody asks me a question like this, so what I used to respond, like, if by Areca nut, by consuming Areca nut, you can make use in digestion and all those small things. But if cancer occurs to you, so would you like to take Areca nut, or would you like to take anti-digestive tablets in place of it? So I think even if, although I'm not sure about whether these benefits are really there, these small benefits, even if it was there, so the cost benefit ratio, which we usually say, or the benefit, the harms of Areca nut far overweighs the benefits, the minimal benefits, even if it is there, of Areca nut.
I think it should be, the answer is self-evident, really. Uh, the usual question that people ask, the reason why they're having it, that they mukh shuddhi, or mouth freshener. Well, first of all, why should you put something in the mouth which requires it to be freshened? Why don't you brush your teeth instead? Or if you really want to have something after a meal, go and have sauf or elaichi. I have no problem with that. Why take something which is a potential carcinogen? Not only which is a known carcinogen. I mean, unfortunately, even dentists, even ENT surgeons, when we talk about that does areca nut cause cancer, very few people know it. So that is the reason why we started this whole, and I think Areca nut, we have been thinking of doing this for a long time, that capacity building among medical professionals, the paramedical professionals, the dental professionals, that itself is extremely important. So I'm asked this question very often, that what is wrong? Also, our parents or grandparents have been having it for so long, they never had any problem. The usual story that comes with tobacco also. But Areca, for some reason, is supposed to be more benign than tobacco. And now, with so much of noise that is being made in the government regulations, at least most people are aware that tobacco is carcinogen. But Areca, there is hardly any awareness activity at all.
Also, sir, it is easily available to kids. It's a meathi supari, and it's a yellow color pouch, and it's written meathi supari up
Yes.
here. It's coated with some flavored powder and sort of thing, and it is available to
Right.
them.
Very similar to e-cigarettes having coming in so many pleasant and sweet flavors all over the world, very similar to the pan must make it more palatable. And since time honored, we have been thinking it is entirely benign. We are quite happy to partake this. So these are the kind of things which I personally feel we have nearly 40 odd attendees in this meeting. I think we should be really looking at getting many more people, and hopefully each one of the people who are attending today will become ambassadors of our attempt at least making people aware. Even if every person here talks to three other people, whether it is their neighbors, their parents, or their staff, we will have a multiplication effect. And that is why I feel these sorts of sessions uh, should really reach out to many more people than they reach out today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, dear panelists. Well, I would like to continue with this comment by Professor Mehrotra, sir. Sir, you said that a lot of capacity building initiatives are required in this scenario today. But we all understand that Areca nut is a harmful, it's a class 1 carcinogen, and we don't have the evidence as such in the Indian scenario. A lot of evidence is still lacking out there. So I would like to.
Let me interrupt you there. I think there's adequate evidence from India. I'm not sure I will be able to
Not
support you
about
on that one.
not about the carcinogenic link, sir, but regarding what exactly we can do to promote the cessation of this.
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought talking about the fact that I mean, it is like our Indian parliamentarian who said that, how do we know that Indian tobacco causes cancer? I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. So
So
what you are saying is what are the best ways, research into what are the best ways of making people aware and actually regulating it. Is that correct?
what all strategies we can take, what all researches we
Okay.
can take up to promote the cessation of this?
Yeah. No, okay. I would maybe you could ask my fellow panelists, do they have any guru mantra? रामबाण है कुछ क्या?
Sir, Professor Gupta, sir.
First of all, there have been no particular studies, no clinical trials, no for cessation of Areca nut habit. But what we know now, and as data and experiences have shown, that it is an addictive habit. It is so leaving it may not be very easy, very simple. So I think we have to use the strategies, similar strategies as we use for tobacco, for any other kind of addiction, especially tobacco, for cessation of Areca nut use. But as you all know, that has not yet become a movement. There have been not even no research has been there so far on that. But this is an area that definitely needs a lot of attention and work. Thank you for your question, Shekhar.
Thank you, sir. Well, Dr. Shweta in the chat box has commented, Areca nut has been used widely in many government schools in Rajasthan. Most of the times the shops are present just adjacent to the school entrance, and it is asked, if asked children why are they having, they say it's sweet. So what can be done in this issue? Dr. Sonu Goyal, sir, I request you to please answer the question, sir.
Yeah, I think this is true not only for Areca nut but also for cigarette, BDs, tobacco. There are a lot of shops which are being there. So that's a different issue altogether. That's a regulation issue because in 100 yards you can't sell any tobacco products. So I think these type of products are available simultaneously with the cigarettes and BDs and all those things. So I think it's a regulation. One is regulation issue. The second is very important. And I think this needs a lot of attention to policymaker, and we are working on it because now there are, I think, what industry is doing is they are making the things sweet, or they are making the product very good in flavors, good in smell, good in taste, and all those things. So I think, and these type of by adding these sweeteners, flavorants, so people used to consume more, and it has been seen. Not with I'm not sure about this case, but I know that flavored hookah, so that people used to inhale very deeply, and it caused lower lung pneumonitis because of deep inhalation of the hookah puff, because one hookah puff is equivalent to around 30 puffs of a cigarette. So that 30 puffs of a cigarette going at one go, and that too very deep, because it contains a lot of mint flavor and all those things. So they mask the tobacco pungent taste, number one. Number two is they are attractant, and people used to consume more and for deep. So I think this case holds true for these people as well. So we need to ban those flavorants which are present along with these products. So I think that is another issue which many government have started doing. So I think this is more of a regulation issue right now.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Well, do we have any further questions for the panelists today? Anyone?
Wind up.
Okay. All right. So, thank you, dear panelists, and we have all been engaged in such a healthy discussion about Areca nut. Before I wind up, I would request all the participants here to kindly please open your video for a moment so that we can have a group picture. I request all the participants to please open up your videos for a group picture. Just one, please. All smiling faces, please come up. Simran, Vaishnavi, Himani, Jayashri, Minakshi, Sushma, Kanishka, Pratibha, Indu, Vaishnavi. I request everyone, just for a moment, please open up your videos. All right, we have a good number. Pratibha, please do the needful.
Yes, yes, I'll do that. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. So we have had a great discussion about Areca nut, and we have had listened to some eye-opening figures as well. And all thanks to our dear esteemed panelists, Professor Prakash Gupta sir, Professor Ravi Mehrotra sir, and Professor Sonu Goyal sir. Thank you, thanks a lot for this insightful talk about Areca nut. We are going to have a lot of more discussions on Areca nut in the coming weeks, and we're going to pass on the information about the next series of webinars as well on various topics on Areca nut. So yes, we are going to upload this recording on YouTube as well, and we're going to share the link with everyone so that everyone can all the participants, so that if they have any query, they can write out to them. But yes, the lesson is well received that we need to take up more research on Areca nut. And since the participants here are mostly of the younger lot, and this is the right time wherein they can take this topic up as something that they can work upon and contribute to a better public health in our country. So I would like to end the session here, and I request my colleague Anshika to please give a vote of thanks.
As we come to the close of today's enlightening panel discussion, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our distinguished panelists, Dr. P.C. Gupta sir, Dr. Ravi Mehrotra sir, and Dr. Sonu Goyal sir for their insightful contribution on this important and often overlooked issue of Areca nut use in India. Your expertise and perspectives have helped us better understand too many layers of this topic, from the cultural normalization of Areca nut consumption to the serious health risks it poses, particularly in terms of oral and systemic disease. Today's discussion has made it abundantly clear that while Areca nut may be deeply woven with our social fabric, its harmful health consequences cannot and should not be ignored. We have also explored how myths surrounding its so-called harmless or even beneficial use continues to thrive in our communities, contributing to a lack of awareness and a delay in necessary public health interventions. The challenges and regulations, enforcement, and behavioral change are significant. In line with the spirit of collective action, today's conversation reminds us that combating health risks like those posed by Areca nut use requires more than just policy. It requires education, empathy, and engagement at every level, from local communities to national. Once again to our panelists for sharing your time and knowledge with all of us, and for joining us in the vital dialogue. Let's continue to collaborate, raise awareness, and advocate for effective strategies to reduce the health burden caused by Areca nut use in India. Together, we can make a meaningful progress towards healthier communities. I thank you once again to all my participants and to all the panelists for making this session a wonderful session. Thank you, everyone. And I would also like to request that please be with us in all the other upcoming sessions so that you can gain from us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Thank you all.